Hey, what up, people? I just sitting around on Facebook. Somebody had made a post, and it had like two people's live, talking about, I guess Trump is supposedly doing away with child support. Um, I look at that. I look at that from both sides. One is a person that pays child support myself. Um, I recognize that there is a need for it because there are absent parents, and the kid deserves every chance. They deserve like effort from both parents. I just think that with child support, it's basically looking at the financial aspect of it, and it takes more than just money to raise to take care of anything on this planet. I mean, having a vehicle, obviously it takes more than money. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of a house, it takes more than money. I mean, with money you can have like so you can do so much stuff with having money on hand. But when you're talking about another life, you're talking about a kid. There's so much that they even from the beginning they've had they've had some type of investment from both parents. And we talk about starting from a genetic level. They've got genetics from mom and they've got genetics from dad. And a child isn't created from money. you know um but with people who choose to be absent parents and not be in their children's life, and there's women that pay child support too. Um I think it does sort of kind of offset some of the trivial things that a single parent can can encounter in raising a child by themselves. So I've got pros and cons when it comes to child support. Now, on the con side of it, one of the things that it's like I'm trying to figure out how best to put it, because if you look at things like an incentive, one thing that it seems like our government, from the government on down, from federal on down to like a local level, you there's so many things that pulls the household apart. And just think of an incentive like all right, we talk about simple relationships, and uh you know people dealing with like a cheating significant other. I'll be in a second. um Crap. All right, well, just think about an incentive or something that'll pull somebody outside of something. Like, all right, my last relationship, I was in a relationship for the better part of 6 years. And one thing that I always thought of is because, the individual who I was in a relationship, she's a very attractive woman, very attractive. And she did get a lot of attention from other guys. Now, I'm not going to go into details and stuff like that on what was done with that attention, but um with that much on the outside that played a part in our relationship, you know what I'm saying? And the basically the demise of it, it's like she had so many things on the outside like pulling her away from it. It's like, if me and her argue, of course that's a negative, that's a negative aspect of a relationship. I'm one to always think that if you don't argue, you don't care. You will only argue something that you really care about. um so I mean, with that being said, just me. I'm not a ultimately flamboyant individual. I don't have like this nice ass car. I don't have all these hundreds of thousands of dollars and stuff that I'm just coming up with or that I make. You know what I'm saying? Even on a day to day basis, just working. I don't have it like that. So there's nothing really glamorous and flamboyant about my lifestyle. And for if that's what a woman is looking for in a man, she's not gonna find that in me. But if that's something that appeals to my significant other from the outside, that would be something that would pull her attention. That's something that would pull her outside of what we built. Oh, well, he got this and he got that. Well, he ain't got this, so I want that. And instead of being, real about it, saying, you know what, this ain't enough for me, and I think I can get more. I think I can get more of what I want. And ending that relationship, some people decide to dip and dab. They decide to dip and dab, and that was in a sense, that was the demise of it. She didn't go out and begin a relationship with these. Well, I don't know. It's a painful memory because there's children that's involved, and so many lies. That I'm forced to basically go back. I have to dig a lot of that stuff up and basically find out the truth of everything. I mean, you're talking about from 6 years ago. 6 years, 4 children. Met her with the first child. And the story of how that child was conceived and everything was just one big ass mix up. The second child came, and I didn't find out until after, that child was born. And after the affidavit was signed that, shit, you might not be the daddy. Then the third child was born, and it wasn't until after that third child was born that, remember that situation that I said nothing happened? Well, something did happen. What the fuck am I supposed to do after something like that? But from that aspect, if me and her were obviously to break up and me and her don't see eye to eye, which after a breakup, most people really don't, because they're thinking about themselves and not necessarily the children. What's stopping her from just, okay, well, he ain't doing what I want him to do, so I can just go downtown. All I got to do is apply. Child support. I mean, don't ask no real big questions and research for that answer. Is he choosing to not be a part of the children's life? Is it something that is willful on his behalf? Is he not inquiring about them? Nothing. It's, you came to us. All right, well, we're going to represent you on this end. Now, with something like that, that's more of an incentive to, okay, well, instead of putting up with this nigga shit, I can just go downtown, get child support, sign up for food stamps, sign up for medical. I get all that shit from the state just for the simple fact that I had the kids and that they live with me. And he got to pay for it. It's like putting my head on the chopping block. Like, you've got this big ass beast that can't nobody beat. And it's like, in order to keep yourself in a good light, what do you have? Bring me somebody's head. And to really do some research to find out what child support is. Child support is Title IV, Section D, funding. Do you know what Title IV funding is? Title IV funding is basically a loan. Title IV funding is the same thing that you use in financial aid with going to school, like the Pell Grants and the Stafford loans and stuff like that. It's Title IV funding. It's something that you are you qualify to see if you you apply to see if you qualify for it, but it's a loan. Title IV is child support. Basically, it's a loan on the child's behalf, and it has a person who receives the payout and a person who will pay back that loan. And from what I understand, how can a woman go and enter into a contract with another organization on somebody else's behalf? Now, from what I understand, I couldn't sign my baby mama's signature on anything because I was not her husband. So I could not enter into an agreement on her behalf. Period. Legally, I could not. I couldn't go down there and apply for a loan and say, okay, well, I'm going to sign her information and she's my co-signer. No, she has to sign it herself. So how can she go down and with the state enter into an agreement where she's the beneficiary and I have the obligation? But like I said, in some cases with child support, yes, it is definitely warranted. You got some people out there that's just got that mindset, oh, well, I ain't with you no more, or I don't fuck with you like that, so fuck the kids too. I don't want no parts. And that's the wrong way to think about it, man. And this is a vicious cycle that has been going on for years. And like I said, child support basically just shows, it basically just it provides an incentive not to, okay, well, everything was cool when y'all was making a baby, but now that the baby's here and y'all ain't seeing eye to eye, you have some type of relief through the state instead of working out your shit. Basically, like, my mom raised me up with the whole thing of, hey, you make your bed, you made your bed that way, you got to sleep in it. So why is it that you can make a decision like that, bring another life into this world, and just because you know that there's something else out there, well, you know, I don't have to sit here and take your shit. I don't have to sit here and deal with this, even on my child's behalf. I could just go to the state. Fuck you. That's why we got so many different mamas and daddies, and mama with this person and then with that person, or this person's daddy for now, but we never got married, we broke up, and now I'm with this person over here, but I still got the kids that live with me. Instead of working on the actual family values that we should be instilled with. You know, every child deserves to have both their parents in their life. It took two to even bring them into this world, and they didn't ask for it. But us as adults, we can't get it in our heads that this is what's most important. We talk about, oh, well, I deserve to be happy. Yes, I believe everybody deserves to be happy. I think it's one of the constitutional rights. You have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But when you take responsibility for bringing a child into this world, it takes two. Us humans, we don't reproduce asexually. We're not single-celled organisms and shit. So no woman can get pregnant of her own. It takes two parties. And to make that decision on a sole party, it takes a lot from the father. And then if I can go even further, to show you that really fathers have no rights when it comes to their children. Everything falls on the mother. You know, and most people who's not rubbed the wrong way is not going to recognize something like that. If it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't bother you. So people who are not going through baby mama, baby daddy issues, the fuck do you care about child support? It wouldn't bother you. But for somebody who's actually, oh shit, motherfucker stepped on my foot, that hurt, it's gonna stir you up. It's gonna make you think about some things like, why is it this way? You know, and to find out that you really have no rights. Like, I'm a father. I'm a father of 6 children. And I do recognize not all of them are biologically mine, but they all call me daddy. And I made that commitment. And that's not something you can just, oh, well, I ain't with her no more, so, you know, I'm out of it. No, you can't do that shit. And then even if she does, you know, pull the actual baby daddies back into their lives where they are active and it works out, there's still a way to make it easy, make that change easier for the child. You know, it's not what you do, it's how you do it that makes all the difference in the world. And that's something that I firmly believe. You know, that goes with intentions. You may intend to do something for good and cause harm. You know, but most people don't think about that. You will hope it will be a reward, but it comes out to be a consequence. But it's the outcome of the choice that you made. You know, what are we going to do? You know, you talk about all these different races, but I believe it's one race, the human race. You know, we're not dogs. We're not cattle, we're not sheep, we're not pigs, we're not fucking squirrels, we're not birds. You know, we are basically the dominant species on this planet. And this is what we're doing with it. This is how we're choosing to live. This is how we're choosing to make rules of society. This is how this is our social development. This is the outcome of our social development. More people homeless, more people relying on the state, like the state is creating kids. They're not creating kids, but we're giving them to them. Every time that we sign them up for a birth certificate, we basically give the state that kid because the state has paperwork on that kid. You're talking about possession being 9/10 of the law. You can buy a vehicle, but because you register it through the state certifies it, the state takes ownership and registers you as a registered keeper of it, which is why under the law, if you do something that the state doesn't, agree with when driving your vehicle, they can take it from you. The same thing goes with your children. Your children don't belong to you. And that's like that's before you leave the hospital. 2 days, well, shit, as soon as the child's born, you got them throwing that paperwork in your face. You need a social security number, right? You need a birth certificate for them, right? You know what the birth certificates was back in the day? The family recognizing it was done and grandma putting it down in the family tree in her Bible. So-and-so and so-and-so begot so-and-so. So-and-so and so-and-so got married and begot so-and-so. The Bible gives us a good reference of it. Look at the book of Chronicles. That's what it shows you. It shows you lineage. It shows you bloodlines. They didn't have fucking birth certificates back then, but people knew who was related to who. So why have we been living in a world that made everything that's supposedly about life, they've commercialized it. They've turned it into something for profit. Look at all the incentive that you get. Like, okay, if you're the registered keeper of a kid, you can benefit from that kid. And it's all money. It's all money. And I'm not preaching as far as Bible and stuff like that. The Bible to me is a story. Or it's a compilation of stories. Some you can learn from. But it's been milked and watered down, you know what I'm saying, through the ages. Like so many different translations of it. And it's so much to keep us from uniting as a race. It's so much that keeps us separated in little groups and in the little sanctions and little factions and stuff like that. We'll never be able to beat this problem. We'll never be able to beat this beast. Why me and my neighbors don't get along? I walk outside. He walks out with his wife. He worried about me staring at her ass when she gets up in the car. I'm worried about him, hearing me pull up 15-inch speakers in my car, and he might break into my shit or have it broken into because he wants something that I got. That's why we can't get along. But he living in the same fucking place that I'm living in. He's making his money the best way he knows how to take care of his children and his house. The place where he lays his head. But it's so many of us that's just, we live like crabs in a box. The only way we gonna get ahead is stepping over the back of somebody else. Is getting a lift, pulling somebody else down so we can excel. And it's not supposed to be that way. We really, really, really need to wake up. We gotta wake up. Well, like I said, as far as this whole Trump thing ending child support, that's gonna shake up that box of shit, man. That's gonna shake it up. If that goes through, what the hell is gonna happen? You got a whole bunch of people out there that's, oh shit, yeah, no more child support? Fine, yeah. But you don't realize, as a father, did you know it was through paying child support that it was a guarantee of visitation of your child? Not guarantee that you'll be in your child's life, that you'll have a relationship with your child. That just guarantees that, oh, okay, well, you're paying for something, so you at least deserve to see it. That's like somebody telling you you've got a beautiful, beautiful house in Florida. You can't never live in it, but you got to pay the property tax on it. You've got to pay the upkeep. You've got to pay to get the grass cut. You got to pay to reshingle the roof. You got to pay to put new appliances and stuff in it, but you can't never go live in it, but you got to pay to take care of it. Can you imagine that? They're doing the same thing with our children. You tell us. Society puts that weight on fathers. That, yes, this is what I'm supposed to do. As a man, I've got children. I've got a responsibility to them. What the fuck? I'm worth more than just money to that kid. And I see it every time I look in my daughter's eyes. Whenever I see her, I see it. I mean, she looks like me. No, she looks better than me, but you can tell it. You can tell it. And then that's one thing that we can't create with our own hands. I can't go out here and put some mud and some brick and some leaves and grass together and create a life. And no, I don't get along with her mother. No, I don't get along with her mother. Her mother is like one of the most slimiest snakes ever on this planet. Because she chooses, and it's common for a lot of women that I meet, they don't accept responsibilities for their actions. You point the fingers at me, and it's like, hey, well, you did something wrong. You need to fess up for it. You need to, all right, bet, yup, I fucked up. Okay, cool. But just the same way you pointing fingers at me, you ain't willing to do the same thing your damn self. Why the fuck are you preaching to me? It's like they tell us to lead by example. Well, what type of example are we setting for our children? If mom and dad can't get along, oh, you know, mom and daddy ain't together. Mama, I live with mama. Mama got this other person here. She's willing to put up with his shit, even though he's fucking up left and right. But she love him, or he got this, or he gives this, or whatever. And we're forced to live through it. Now, fortunately, I didn't have a mother who settled for less. My mother never put another man before us. And I appreciate that. And my mother, even though it was, of course, you know, being a young woman, she had 4 children. At 23, she had four kids. She had been married before, but divorced. And at 23 years old, she had 4 kids. 4. I know that's no easy task. And for a 23-year-old woman, she is in her prime. She step outside. She got all sorts of, hey, man, what? Come here. What up? The same shit that's going on. Even now. I done catcalled at a couple of 23, 24-year-old ladies out here. It's human nature, I guess. You know, we're attracted to what we see. We're attracted to what appeals to us. But all the time, I mean, my mom could have met up with some, my mom could have hooked up with some cats that had money. Like, had it, bruh. I don't know what it's like to have a stepdaddy or, you know, my mama's friend or whatever, driving around one of these nice-ass cars with 23, 24-inch rims and, I mean, speakers banging out the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get out the car and you like damn near deaf. But that's the shit that get people's attention. People like, oh, that's your people? Yeah. That's what's up. That's Pops, you know, blah, blah, blah. That shit would have looked good. You know, how would it be if I had grew up and that person was constantly just feeding me shit? Here go some Jordans. Here go some Timbs. Here go a new outfit. I got it like that. It's great. We would have had it. Probably wouldn't have won it for nothing. Somebody's got to pay for it. Was mom paying for it? Would mom have been paying for it? Who knew what would happen behind closed doors? But my mom didn't have it like that. The man my mom chose to marry and keep in her children's life as well as her life was a man that will go to work faithfully every day. It hurts this man not to go to work. He's still working. Faithfully. Like nothing stops him. This man needed a knee replacement for like the last 6 years that I know of. Still hobbled to work. every day, 12 plus hours every day. Still do it now. And we always had. We ain't have everything we wanted. We damn sure had everything we needed. Damn sure had everything we needed. I'll just conclude this video by just saying it's up to us to give our children the essentials. We can't put that on the state. The state already makes enough of our life. They create the curriculum that our kids learn in school. They created the curriculum that we learned in school. They set all the rules for us. It's like putting a mouse in a big ass open parking lot. And every time that mouse tries to go somewhere, you set down a like a big ass wall in front of him. So he ain't got no choice but to go this way. You set down another wall. He ain't got no choice but to turn this way. That's how we're like living our lives. The state will put down another fucking rule. Boom. The government puts down another rule. Boom. You got to go this way. You can't go that way. You can't shoot through this fucking wall. What are we going to do? We need to wake up. We really need to wake up. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, and we'll continue to be stupid, be pawns until we wake up. I don't want my kids to go through the same shit that I went through. I got sons, I got stepsons. I don't want them to go through the shit that I went through. I got daughters. I don't want them to go through the same shit that, you know, some of the stuff that I've put women through, some of the stuff that people have put my mother through. I don't want them to go through that, but we have to improve or we will perish as a race. We're not going to make it. Wake up, people.